Yo, man, Bootleg Kev Show, special guest here. The homie, and I was gonna call you Annie, bro. Andy Mineo's here. What's up, bro?
He said my last name right, so I got big respect. I'm chilling, man.
Yeah, how often do you get like Mineo or...
Oh, it's butchered. Every time.
What is like the most annoying pronunciation for you, like when people get it wrong?
Mineo, because it sounds like mayonnaise. So, you know, that's the one. I'm like, all right, no respect.
No respect.
No respect. At this point, I don't even care. It's crazy because in one of my bigger records that went gold, I say it in the record. I'm like, it's Mineo. Say it with me. Mineo. Okay, great. So, you know, they're like, I'm a huge fan, man, Mineo. And I'm like, you've never heard a song in your life because you would have at least heard that record and known.
I'm happy to hear that you like my song that went viral on TikTok.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm happy to hear you like Coming In Hot.
That's right. Huge fan.
Huge fucking fan. Yo, so yeah, of course. Yeah, we're giving everyone free pub right now.
Yeah, big shout out to Mountain. I mean, write the check.
Ghost Energy needs to cut the check. So, has this been your first time hitting the road since the world?
Panty?
Yeah, since the old panty.
This is, you know, we actually had a whole. It's funny. Look on the back of this. This is like the tour merch. That was all the cities we were supposed to hit.
Right, but it wasn't that. It was only like what, like 8 or something, right, or 10?
No, right now we only doing 9 cities.
Right,
but on the, you know, we had these pressed before the whole thing shifted gear, but we were gonna do 24 cities or something like that. I had a whole band. And basically what happened is when we started figuring out what was going on with the mandates, what was also happening with, like, if anybody gets sick, what you have to deal with.
Right.
We were like, yo, we can't take this risk because financially you could just sink yourself. So they had a full band. And if one person gets sick, you can't put them on the bus. You can't fly them home. You have to leave them in that city for 10 days, pay for their hotels, pay them their per diem, fly someone new in the same day, have them learn all the parts, and then pay them. So now you paying double, triple, and that's only if one person gets sick. So
imagine if 3 people get sick.
Right, and then you know that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
If somebody get exposed. So we was like, yo, we can't be out here paying for 30 hotel, you know, nights and doing. So it just didn't make sense. So we just shrunk the show down. We limited our exposure down to like 17 days on the road instead of 40.
Right.
So if anyone gets sick by the time, you know, we find out, hopefully they can be home to quarantine. But everyone's good so far.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's weird, man. It's a weird time even to tour too. So
I was gonna say, like, I know, like, you know, the homies Chris Webby and Dizzy and Futuristic had a tour that they just canceled because
that's right.
of all the shit that was going on.
And they didn't want to deal with the mandates. I saw Chris was like, yo, I'm not gonna make nobody who's my fan get Mandy vax, you know what I'm saying? So it's weird.
Are you vaccinated?
I am, yep.
Yeah, you and me both. We're both jabbed up.
Yeah, I got the, what do I got, Pfizer or something?
Yeah, me too. Pfizer Poppy's in the building.
Yeah, my dog got the Johnson & Johnson.
How's he doing? Is he alive?
He's like, I'm barely vaxxed. I don't even know what I'm doing out here.
Yo, the Johnson & Johnson just sounded good because it was like, so it's just one and done?
Yeah.
And then everyone...
And then you grow, you know, a third eye, so that's what it is.
Yo, it's crazy though, because we were talking like how... The mandate shit, man, I just feel like we're just living in a very weird time. You were saying how like some of your California shows that usually would sell out aren't selling how they usually would because a lot of your fans are not wanting to adhere to some of the local policies as far as vaccinations and et cetera.
And a lot of people moved. So like, you know, I was saying I was hitting my community
People
number.
moved the fuck out of Cali,
Yeah, they just like, oh, I don't even live there no more, bro. I'm gone. So this is the strangest selling. But what's crazy is the rest of the tour has been selling fine in the southern states and Florida and Texas and all that. So it's like, I'm like, oh, I think it might just be Cali on lockdown still. But I don't know. Who knows, man? It's just very strange.
No, it is, man. I feel like we're like I just every day some new shit happens and I'm like, are we fucking living in a simulation? Like,
yeah, bro.
The world has really changed. And like they're firing nurses out here for not getting vaccinated, and they were working during the pandemic. What the fuck is going on? Like,
now, why do nurses also not want to get vaxxed? So I'm like, there's so many.
There's just so many angles. Bro. It's like, what is happening? Yeah, like why are the like? Yeah, it's just it's crazy, bro. I don't know, man.
Our boy Kyrie not gonna be able to play in New York.
And what's
psychotic?
You know what's wild is I don't know if this is true, but I saw on Twitter someone had said that Michael Porter Jr. is going to be able to play in New York, and he's not getting vaccinated. So when he comes to New York, he's going to be able to play, but they won't let Kyrie play, which would be kind of wild.
Maybe because I don't know. Maybe because New York pays him. It's what like when I go to different states, I gotta play different taxes for merch that I sell there.
That might make sense because all his tax money's coming through New York. Maybe. The Kyrie shit is crazy though.
It is wild. Shout out MPJ. I did a little MPJ freestyle. He's gonna pop out in Denver next week.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's the homie, man.
Michael Porter Jr. popping out at the show.
Yeah, he's gonna pop out unvaxxed
at a show.
Might have to.
You might be the reason why the Nuggets have a breakout.
God. He's not coming. Edit that out. He's not coming to the show.
That'd be kind of fire if you had him pull up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on my fantasy basketball team, so.
Okay, perfect.
I hope. Oh, you got him?
Yeah, I got him too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people let him slip because they were like, he's not vaxxed. I'm like, fuck that.
Okay.
Run me MPJ, baby. I think he's gonna have a breakout year.
And it could definitely hurt your fantasy if you go out for a week.
If he
goes, you know what's crazy about it? When I was talking with MPJ, we did I did a freestyle before the album came out. MPJ freestyle, so he jumped on a live with me. We was talking a little bit, and he said when he actually got COVID right before the bubble. And what happens is after you get COVID, it could take like months for you to get a negative test.
Right.
So
those antibodies are hanging around.
Exactly, just hanging. So he was like, yo, I almost couldn't play in the bubble because even though I had it a month before, I couldn't produce a negative test. And so you have to get tests every single day until you finally get that green light. But I was going to do some overseas travel this year and I got COVID and I couldn't reproduce a negative test. And so we were just like, I can't go to Italy and then be stuck over there.
Are you Italian?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, I can't go over there. Are you Italian?
No. I'm just a lot of caucasity.
Eastern European?
German, Irish, Russian. Just
the kid's a Heinzweiser. He's got blue eyes. That's what it is.
Yeah,
he's what it is.
No. Well, what was you're just a fan of Michael Porter Jr. Like how did like?
Yeah, he came out to a few of the shows a couple years ago as he was getting ready to go to the league, and we would just kick it when we'd be in Denver, and then I had a line in this just like freestyle I was writing. I was like, "There's a lot of married men in the NBA. Got shorties in cities on NDAs. Lord, keep your hand on MPJ. That he gonna keep his pants on and behave." I was just like,
I like that.
It's like, I should just call this MPJ freestyle. So I did, and then he just happened to be the homie. So it was like, "Yo, I named a song after you." He's like, "All right," he promoted it, jumped on IG Live, but. Yeah, it kind of just happened that way.
You're obviously a big basketball guy. Are you a Knicks fan or what's your team?
This is strange. I'm actually none of my teams are from New York, even though I'm from New York.
Right.
I'm a Utah Jazz fan.
Are you Mormon?
Yes, 100% Mormon. Me
joke.
And my 17 wives. No.
Shout out to the Mormons out there. Choose the right.
Yeah. Nah. I grew up Stockton, Malone.
That's an interesting
Hornacek. You know what it was?
To be a kid growing up the same time we grew up and to be like, you know what? Hornacek, Stockton, those are my guys.
You know, yeah. You got Jordan dunking off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was just like, one, I liked their jerseys. The Utah Jazz, like the jerseys were fire to me. It had music notes and all that. And then it was just like seeing these unassuming high shorts, white dude balling out. I was just like, wow,
I have a chance.
Yeah, I have a chance. Maybe I can make the league. So seeing Stockton, it was always so funny. I'll hear these stories about John Stockton. It would just make me crack up. So like Gary Payton would try to like get in Stockton's head, right? And he's like, I banged your mom last night on the court. And Stockton would just be like, she's a great lady. Just run up there, just wouldn't let people into his psyche. He's like, she's a great lady. And he's like, I'm going to shove a banana up here. And he's like, tons of protein. Tons of potassium. And just run up the court. I'm like, yo, this dude is just... And then he would walk around for the Olympics and no one would bother him. I'm just like an unassuming.
No, he always would have his little collared shirt on.
Yeah, just balling out. I just always thought that was so funny. So
you're a Jazz fan. That's like your number one team.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I don't follow basketball.
Are you more of like, oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'll catch a game here and there, but it's kind of that's my childhood team, and so I stick with them. It's like Green Bay Packers are my football team, but it had to do with like Favre, the Lambeau Leap, cheese on your head. It was like I was watching a game with my sister when I was a kid, and they did the Lambeau Leap. I was like, why they jumping in the crowd? She's like, that's what they do at Lambeau. I was like, it's like a stage dive.
Right.
I was like, why they got cheese on their heads? Like they produce a lot of cheese. I was like, that's it. That's my team.
Man.
You just gonna have a square on you? Like that's so crazy to me.
Right.
So,
hey, shout out to the Packers and to the Jazz of Utah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Shout out them. Like Pirates.
How?
Because I like their logo.
So
Just
random.
a weird kid.
How was you? Do you go to Utah on tour?
No, we got an off day coming up on our way to Denver, so I'm gonna take some time.
Stop into Salt Lake. Say what's up to some of the Mormon homies.
Absolutely, dap up the Mormon homies and their 6 wives. Yeah, we're gonna try to get an off day. I mean,
They're all gonna get their own planets, by the way, too. When they die.
Is that in the contract?
I grew up in Mesa, Arizona, which is the second largest Mormon population in the world. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah.
Where do you land on religion stuff these days?
I'm an atheist.
Atheist?
Yeah. You're like okay. That's what I ask you because
go ahead.
I hear people call you a Christian rapper.
Uh-huh.
And I listen to your music, and obviously there's like stuff in there that's like godly, right? Like lines, but it's not like, I don't look at you that way. I just look at you as like a rapper who happens to be a Christian.
Yep.
As opposed to being like because when I grew up, man, Christian rap was corny as fuck.
Yep.
And I feel like Lecrae was like the first guy to come along to be like, oh no, he's just dope.
He could rap, yeah.
But he also, is obviously like, how do you consider yourself like a quote unquote Christian rapper, or is that something that you embrace?
Well, it's an interesting combo because for years I've just tried to like, just be like, yo, can I just be a rapper and be a part of the community? Because I always felt like in some way in hip hop, to be called something before your title, like a female rapper, a gay, whatever, a Christian, a Muslim. So, gender, orientation, or religion, anything that precede a title, it always feels like it marginalizes.
Like right away, people already have their mind
so it's
made
like,
up.
that's a female rapper.
Right.
It's all those things. So I tried to just be like, man, I feel like I'm just a part of hip hop, but I am a Christian, so I would never deny being a Christian, right? Just be like, that title, it's a weird conversation because people be like, oh yeah, we'll play you on Sunday then, on the radio. You're like, what?
Like, wait,
I took a meeting one time when one of my albums, the first Neverland, it was like doing really well on the charts. I took a meeting at This Is 50, and 50 Cent was there, and so I walked by him. I was like, yo, what's up, man? He was like lifting weights, and he was like, didn't give me no time. He was like, yeah, what up? And then his man was like, yo, he got the #1 album on iTunes right now. And then he was like, oh, word, come into my office, right? And so I ended up hanging out with 50 for like 2 hours.
Wow.
Random. I'm like, I looked at my manager. I was like, yo, I'm going to go in the office. Yo. And I went in and he just started asking me questions. Because, at that time, like, he's just a smart dude. He wants to learn. So he's like, you had #1 album? Like, what's going on? He starts asking me all these questions. I start telling him about this. I'm like, yo, when I first started, like, 10 plus years ago, I had some very explicitly Christian bars. I was juiced up about my relationship with Jesus. So I think that's where that initial thing comes from, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of my core fans share those same ideals, right? So you get that, but over the years, just my sound, my view, the way I approach things has evolved. And so anyways, when I was talking with him, he was like, yeah, bro, people are going to try to, if you continue, basically like if people continue to see you that way and just not a part of hip hop, they're going to try to marginalize you to the gospel hour on Sunday or something, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh man, that was never my intention. But at the end of the day, I've just let go of trying to control that narrative to a degree because it's like,
you're just going to do you and like let people feel how they feel.
That's it, man. At the end of the day, you can't really control it. And it's also, it's like when you tell people, hey, man, I don't really call myself that, then that becomes the headline of the interview. And it's a circle, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whatever y'all want to call it. Is the music dope?
I always I think if you think of Kanye when he first came out, like you know, outside of his mixtape shit, but you know, if we think of Jesus Walks, like
Yeah.
Jesus, like people didn't look at Kanye as like a Christian rapper. They just looked at him as like, oh shit, this is a rapper that's did a song about Jesus. This is different. And it was hard because I think up until that song, any songs about God and like hip hop were always like, I remember, you know, I grew up around a bunch of hardcore Christians that used to have Channel 21 on in Phoenix, which was like the Christian channel. And it would be the wackest fucking music.
Really?
Oh my God. There was some guy named, damn it, what was the guy's name? Carmen? I don't know. There was this dude.
Oh my God. That's like,
do you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And then Kirk Franklin obviously was like, you know, who kind of crossed over a bit, you know.
Yep. He did gospel, and then he put some rap stuff in there.
Yeah, like what's it? I was gonna ask you, like, for you, like, would you collab, like, do you kind of watch who you collaborate with if they don't kind of align with like where you are?
Well, yeah, I think like as a man with principles, like I want to create the way I want to create art is I have some brand filters for myself. I always want to make things that I think are incredibly dope, artistically excellent, but I also want things that are wholesome. You know what I'm saying? So
like you don't cuss in your music, right?
Nah, I don't.
Okay.
I saw music as like something that like divided me and my family, and at a certain point in time, you know, I'd get in the car and my cannabis CD would be broken in half or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So my mom just was like, nah, you can't play. She just didn't, you know, when you're 14, 15 years old.
She didn't appreciate like, getting retarded.
Yeah, she didn't. She did. But now it's
great song, by the way.
It is. It's not PC anymore, right?
N-word nometry.
Yes, N-word nometry. Second round KO. So yeah, but now it's cool to see the music that I make is able to bring people together. I see like at a show, a guy will be there and he'll bring his son. He's like, this is my 12-year-old son. It's his first concert ever. And we get to come do this together. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
fire.
Oh, that's crazy. So yeah, when I go to do collaborations, like I've done, you know, I've had collaborations with people from all different walks of life and worldviews. But we just try to make sure that when we create something that
your fans
we align with.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
fair.
saying? Like there's middle ground. There's stuff we can create. So Fonte just jumped on a record and we did something that was great. So
yeah, Little Brother, man, one of the greatest. I just had a conversation with Luke from Dreamville about because his manager's Big Pooh. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They moved into manager?
Yeah, so he's got Little Brother on his album, the Dreamville album that just came out, Goldmouth, and I was like, he's from North Carolina. I was like, you realize how big of a deal that is? Mm-hmm. He's like, bro, honestly, I didn't really even fucking know about Little Brother till like 6 years ago, and then I started working with Pooh. You know, he really hadn't like tapped into the music, but Little Brother, yeah, Fonte. How'd you link up with Fonte?
I just hit him on Twitter.
You're just a fan, right?
Yeah, I was just working on this last project, and I was like, oh, Fonte would sound crazy on this. Actually, Dell, my manager, was like, I think he'd be sound right. I was like, oh yeah, just shoot my shot. A lot of the connections and relationships have just been that, and then you find out somehow that they're a fan or they listen. Like me and John Bellion connected off of Twitter just like years ago.
Great live show.
Yo, man, I love your stuff. Yo, I love your stuff. Let's link up, start playing basketball. And now, so it's just, yeah, you never know who's really listening or who's.
And at the moment, you're independent, right?
No, so I just finished my deal with Reach Records, and basically it's just like we got to renegotiate terms.
So at the moment, you're like a free agent technically?
Technically, I mean, the album came out like 2 weeks ago, so I haven't, and then I went straight on tour, so I haven't even sat down to sort through any of that yet, but I guess technically you could say that.
There it is.
We're going to figure everything out, yeah.
Yo, it's crazy because when you have a record like coming in hot, which is like how long after the song came out did it like really start to pick up on like TikTok? Because I feel like it wasn't right away, right?
Right. Well, amongst my core fan base, like it did really well. And then it was 2018. I did it to go on tour. Me and Lecrae went on tour. Went on tour. It did great, and then it died off for a second. And then Steph Curry started using it, and then it got used in like a Under Armour commercial or something like that. Then they went to the finals. Then the finals used it. So then they had another pickup, then it died down. Then Will Smith used it to announce that he was on TikTok. And then it has a moment. So it just has all these waves of like
so
influencers. And then Kim Kardashian posts with it. Then it has another uptick. And that's the thing. We live in an era of landmines, not rocket ships. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a record could be sitting around and someone stumbles on it, uses it on TikTok.
Crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
You know, songs from like 2014 going crazy. You're like,
yeah, I was thinking like that. This? The Wiz and Ty Dolla $ign song, Something New, was like, what was that, like 2017, and then like 2020
went crazy.
Just went crazy off of it's wild, yeah. And you got a plaque off that record, right?
Yeah, we just got another gold. It's tight, man. I mean, for being, it's an independent label and no radio play, to be able to have a couple plaques, you know, from what we do.
That's huge, man.
It's dope, man. It's really, shout out to the fans who support us. Like, they come out for real, you know?
No, that's I think, I know how hard it is to get a fucking plaque.
Yeah, yep.
Especially on an independent label. You know
Absolutely.
What I'm saying?
We don't, like, we've never ever played radio. Ever.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you guys ever consider like bringing on someone to help you work that record to radio?
So at the time, Lecrae did like an up deal with Columbia. So he did the records with Ty Dolla $ign and all that, and they did some radio with that. So at the time he was with them, and I think that was something that was in consideration, is like upcycling it through them so that they could run it. But basically, from what I understand, is like nobody wants to put their neck on the line at the label for a record, because if it doesn't work, then it basically costs them their job. So I just don't think there was enough people that believed in it to push the button.
Because I think that record could have, like, I think of that Astronaut in the Ocean song was like top 10 at radio, and it was just not as tight as your song. It was like a very novelty like TikTok record.
Yeah,
but,
that thing went crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
And yeah, absolutely insane.
But what's dope about what you're doing is like you had one of those, but like you could tour. You have like
for sure
a built-in like real following. I feel like
because we've been at it, you know, before that record, and I've had plaques before that, so it's like, you know, we've proven that we do this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what up, man? We got to interrupt the interview real quick to tell you about our family at Odd Socks. Now, when I be riding for Odd Socks so hard, man, it's because I really love the product. They got the most comfortable socks in the fucking world. I got a pair of Odd Socks Basics on right now. Go get those. They got the socks, WWE joints, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to The Undertaker, Pepsi, motherfucking, really whatever you need. Some weed socks, Nickelodeon. But really, they got the draws now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm holding a pair of Tapatio underwear right now. You want some Pop-Tarts on your dick? Pop-Tart draws. And these motherfuckers are so comfortable. Like, man. So listen, you got to go to oddsocksofficial.com and use the promo code, the discount code BootlegKev at oddsocksofficial.com. You'll save 20% off underwear, the most comfortable socks in the world. Crazy licenses. Not only they got the WWE, they got the Scarface, they got the Street Fighter, they got the Nickelodeon, they got it all. So make sure you hit that website, oddsocksofficial.com. Save 20% off with the promo code BootlegKev. All right? Go do that. Shout out to Odd Socks. Let's get back to the interview. I saw on YouTube, is it you're married?
Yep.
Okay, so I saw you and your wife were talking about your real estate investments and what you guys do in the real estate game.
Yep.
So kind of shed some light on that, because the real estate world right now is crazy. Everything's super high.
Yeah. So we've been in New York City for the last 13 years. I grew up in Syracuse, upstate New York. Then I went to New York City. And then we just, right before the pandemic, we moved down to Atlanta. The label was down there.
Cost of
living was
quality of life,
everything. You know, I was just like, I'm out. I couldn't do another New York winter, bro. I was just my triple fat goose had seen enough.
Yeah.
So we went down there and we bought our first property, and then we just the agent we connected, Jay Rich. He just he knows all of Atlanta, and he ends up being a friend and a fan and all that. So he's just been kind of steering us, and we started investing in this neighborhood that's just going crazy. And so we just, this past week, we picked up our fourth property in 2 years. We were on tour, and I had to stop off at a notary and sign. And it's funny, man, because that same day I had a friend pop out. He's from Syracuse. He lives in Orlando. He popped out, Ox, and he was like, yo, when you gonna pop out with something? You know, it's like, when you gonna pull something out? Like let your nuts hang. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a chain, get a car. I was like,
nah, get another property.
I'm buying real estate.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, all right. You know, and it's funny. I was like, dang, I really don't be pulling out the flex. We just kind of investing in what the future looks like for us, because in my mind, you know, this game of music is very similar to sports. It's like, you can have like a little window where you can go crazy, and then after that, people are like, what's new? What's next? Whatever.
100%.
So it's dope that I've been able to continue to do what I do and have a fan base, and stuff still keeps growing. But I just kind of want to plan for if I ever want to not have to go on tour, or, you know what I'm saying, say yes to shows I don't want to show up
I mean,
at.
look, there's artists
like,
whose lifeline is literally touring, you know, like it's without the live show, it's like that's what they depend on to pay their bills.
That's right. Like, on some rap to pay the bill. Yeah, I don't want to be in that position, and I want to have kids eventually. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, and we like, man, I just don't want to be running around like this. You know what I'm saying?
You think like there's like independent rappers, without saying names, but like they tour all year long. Every year it's a tour, and it's like they're dope, incredible artists, but it's like, fuck, like 55 dates every year. It's like crazy. Half of your life is on the road.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
It's like I couldn't imagine doing that too long.
Yeah, it just depends on what you value, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, time is the biggest thing. So if I can invest in real estate, our game plan is to basically have enough properties that generate passive income for us, that anything music related is just gravy.
Extra.
And so it's like the lifestyle's paid for, we got time back, we can do what we want. And you know, I think that's gonna be the next phase is
you're just like having like tenants, or you doing the Airbnb thing, or
so we did Airbnb for a little bit, and then the pandemic hit. So then it was like,
I know I was at
nobody.
I was at an Airbnb in Atlanta for sure for like a week.
Really?
Yeah, in January. It was cold as shit.
Yeah, we had the Airbnb running, and it started to pick up. It was going great, and then the pandemic hit. And nobody was traveling, so then we had to turn it into long form rental or whatever. And so that's been the game plan, man. Just like rentals right now, because the mortgage is paid, it cash flows. You know, so that's, for those watching, cash flow is anything over
what your cost is.
What your cost is, and so the goal for us is just have that.
And right now the interest rate is killer, right? So
very, very good interest rate.
So it helps with your cash flow because your payment's going to be less.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. We just investing, man.
I was gonna say, any advice you'd give for someone who's watching this that wants to get into the real estate shit? Because I do feel like it's like a weird time where the properties cost more than ever, but the interest rates are lower than ever. So it's like do I get in now? Do I wait? Like,
man, I could talk about real estate stuff forever, but basically I would start with reading books. There's this platform called Bigger Pockets. My wife loves it. She goes on there. Basically, anything you can think of, like any topic, they've tackled it. They've done books on it. They've done podcasts, all that. That's a great start for me. I just started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was like
shout out to I love Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that shit in high school.
Yeah, it was just a change in my mindset and helped me understand what the difference between assets and liabilities were. Right, like cars, even though they're dope, they're depreciating liabilities. They cost you money.
Everybody.
Where assets are things that grow in value. So I make a song, I put it out. Right, it's while I'm sleeping, it's generating money. While I'm sleeping, my car is costing me money, right? Because it's going down in value. So trying to figure out how to develop more assets, which is one of the reasons we moved. Start buying property, start investing in things that'll grow. So that was like a starter kit for my mentality. Then it was, other books. And so I would say start there too. For real estate stuff, it's like this. My wife has a really good example. She says, if you want to buy property, there's basically a scale of comfort and cost. So if the more willing you are to be uncomfortable, the better the price. Right? So that's the sliding scale. And so you're like, oh, I want to get a really well-priced, property. It's like, all right, you might be in the hood for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Or you're like, no, I want to live in the best. All right, it's going to cost you.
You might be in a small spot.
That's right. Yeah. Or at a small spot or whatever it is. So you have to weigh that out. And for me and my wife, it was like, yo, we down to thug it out for a couple years and really just like put our head down and buy property and, not ball out. You know what I'm saying? So we did that and it's been incredible for us. So that sliding scale will help you determine what you want to do. 2 is like if you know how to rehab or like fix these joints up, or you have people, contractors, that's really the end is you got to buy a crappy property and fix it
up.
And that's how you get good prices, and that's how you add value.
Fire.
And you got to be ready to go. It's like when deals come across the table, you
gotta
be
have
out
that.
here.
Hey, how's your guys' credit scores? Fire?
It's perfect.
Perfect.
Crazy. I got like over 800 or something.
How, was that something that's been consistent for you, or did you like have to handle some shit to get it up to that?
Nah, bro. You know what? I'm weird, bro. I just been good with money like since I was young. So when I was in my 20s, I was doing these shows. I was selling merch online, doing all just kind of entrepreneurial. And I'd take the money I'd make, I'd pull up these spreadsheets on Google, and I'd just be like, all right, this money I'm gonna give here, this is for saving. I even created a marriage account when I was single. It's crazy. I'd take a little slice of every check and I just like put some in there.
Gonna have to get married one day.
Because I was like, one day I want to get married and I don't want to be over here like
very, very expensive.
Or a ring or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was just like, yo, I don't want to be out here like, oh, now that I'm ready to go.
So you're a single man just budgeting shit out on Google spreadsheets.
Crazy. I don't even know where this came from, bro. I just was a responsible young man. So by the time I met the girl I was ready to get married, I was like, oh, I got 20 grand saved, so I can go get this ring or whatever I need to do. I was just ready to go.
You're a fucking special guy, man.
Weird.
Yeah.
Very strange, but it's served me well.
Nah, for sure. Why do you think it is like that what you're doing and the success you've had somehow flies under the radar in hip hop? Because I think of like people like Russ, or even like a guy like Tech Nine, who's had a lot of independent success that like at one point in time has gotten a lot of acknowledgement by like the gatekeepers of hip, whatever the fuck, right? The curators or whatever you want to call them, tastemakers. Yeah. Somehow you're still kind of flying under the radar a bit as far as like the amount of success you've had, the touring you're able to do, the RIAA certifications you have.
Right.
Like, do you feel like you're kind of like, what do you attribute to that?
Yeah. Well, and my mentality is like, the first thing I'm gonna start with is it's me, right? Like I'm gonna take responsibility. Because I don't like I could blame it on other people. I want to be like, all right, maybe I just haven't made the records, you know what I'm saying? Or made the hits. Like, so I need to keep my pen sharp, my craft tight, and keep like my foot on the gas. But I feel like it's not a matter of skill. It's a matter of like, maybe I just have been unrecognized, you know what I'm saying? And like my time will either come or I'll just have gone unrecognized, but it doesn't mean that the talent isn't A1.
Well, and also doesn't mean you ain't fucking making a lot of money.
Sure. Yeah. So, there's that. But sometimes I wonder, I ask myself these things. I was like, oh, is it a cosign thing? Like, do you need just somebody crazy to be like, that's the one? Or do you need just more records? Do you need different infrastructure? I don't know. Those are all the things that's why they call it the game, right? Like it is a game. You got to figure out how to do this. I think right now, attention is kind of a currency, and I don't think I'm very good for TV because, I don't start beef with nobody. I don't be out here talking crazy. I'm just like making good music. But we trying to figure out, how to move next, like to make sure that we get the recognition I think the music deserves. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I think that, I do think that the Christian rapper shit has probably something to do with it. Yeah. Just that being like,
if that's the things people lead with, and then they're like, oh, that ain't for me.
Like, shout out to our good friend Emilio Rojas. Like when he texted me about you, he's like, well, he sent me a voice note. So I hate those people, by the way.
Emilio, you're like, yo, this is going to take up my whole phone for
45 fucking second long. Yo, Kevin. Yo, he's a Christian. I'm like, yeah, I know who he is, bro. I DM'd you earlier this year. I don't know if you saw it.
Really?
Yeah, I hit you like, yo, when you come into LA, I think I hit you in like February this year. Check your DMs, buddy.
Oh, who knew? All right. Okay.
But anyway, but no, I think that for whatever reason, like that is like a weird, like you said, man, anytime you have that like thing before rapper.
Yeah, right.
It's like, it just, people already have their mind made up.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I also think like,
well, if you want to give it a chance, like if someone told me right now, and like, this is just an example, like, yo, check out this Muslim rapper, right? I'd be like, oh, word, I'll get to it. Like I wouldn't be like jumping on it if someone's like, yo, this kid's dope, check him out. Because I'd think like, and nothing against Muslims at all. It's just like, oh, that's not the first thing I'm gonna connect with.
Right. And I think that's kind of the same thing, right?
But there's mad Muslim rappers, right?
Oh, for sure.
Everybody. So you like, if you didn't lead with that, maybe it would have.
Yeah, I think that's something, because like I also think too, like just the whole, for whatever reason, I don't know, man. You know, do you feel like being a Christian has become like? When I grew up, I felt like being religious and being godly was like in. Does that make sense? Like it was
Really?
like.
What made you think that?
Maybe because it's who I grew up around. I grew up around, you know, my best friend Ramses, like his whole family was like hardcore Christian. So like maybe like in my head, like that was like more widely accepted, as to where I feel like today, like being like super religious, people like, and I'm not saying I feel this way, but I just mean in general, like I don't think it's like commercially as accepted as it used to be. Do you feel like that's the case?
I don't know. I almost feel like the opposite. I don't know. Like, because when I look at, when I look at artists right now, like so many of them are blatantly and openly Christian. So Kanye, Justin Bieber, you know what I'm saying? Like you hear, I mean, DMX even growing up was always like doing, but he was saying
But he was doing the prayers, yeah.
Right, he was doing the prayers.
Then he was talking about fucking a dead body as well.
Yeah.
On the same album.
On the same album.
He's got blood on his dick because he fucked a corpse.
I'm a nasty when you pass me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's almost more widely accepted in my mind through music, Chance. You know what I'm saying? Like all these artists like used to be open.
Well, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, Kanye does Jesus is King, and it's probably his least successful album ever.
Yeah.
By the way, what did you think of that?
Jesus is King?
Yeah.
So when I first heard it, I was like, it's cool. And then I went and I played it. And I started talking to everybody around breakfast. I was like, yeah, but this part was dope.
The production was wild on it. Amazing.
But this part was dope. But the opening vocals on this, and then I was like, wait, nah, this project's dope, right? So once I started breaking down all the things I liked about it, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just a Kanye stan.
Me too.
I love everything he makes.
Me too, man.
And no matter what, it's always going to be a little left of center. He's going to do something different. He's going to push the envelopes and do cool production. And I'm like, I'm a fan, so I'm just here for the
Kanye's
ride.
my favorite artist ever, not my favorite rapper. But Kanye, to me,
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
best discography ever.
That makes sense.
What's your favorite?
He always, whatever direction you going, he jerks the wheel.
Yeah.
And sends you on a ride.
What's your favorite Kanye album?
Oh man, probably Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I mean, that's the one.
That's just like.
I think that's his best
insane.
album. I think my favorite is probably Late Registration, but his best album is Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah,
for sure.
I like Graduation a lot too.
You know, I'm not as high on Graduation
Really?
as everyone else.
I like the weird, like the ones off there that people sleep. I like Barry Bonds. I also like I
don't
was
like
like
Drunken Hot
Breathe In,
Girls.
Breathe Out. That's his worst song he's ever made.
Okay.
But you know what? He don't have many of those. Like
True.
Drunken Hot Girls and like RoboCop. The only like joints in his discography that I'm like, I could do without those. That's it. Everything else, I'm like, these are good songs.
I agree.
You feel
Even
me?
like, no, there was something on Ye that I did not like, but I think Ghost Town is one of the best Kanye songs ever. So
I
just
cried to Ghost Town.
just the fact that Ghost Town's on Ye puts it. And Kids See Ghost to me might be a top 5 Kanye project ever.
Really?
Kids See Ghost is so fucking perfect to me.
Kids See Ghost is fire.
I'll take Kids See Ghost over Watch the Throne every day of the week. No questions.
I'm sorry.
I will take Kids See Ghost over Watch the Throne 1,000%.
You're sick.
I am.
No,
Might
not
be.
a chance, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let that slide, man.
Personally, for me, I just think Kids See. I think Watch the Throne had some low points. I was not a fan of the first record. Was it Lift Off?
With Beyonce?
Wasn't crazy about that.
Bro, this ain't live, right? I can take a piss.
Yeah, go take a piss. Get your piss on, buddy. All right, we're
We
back.
got like 10 minutes, you were saying, before that.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Watch the Throne is an inferior album to Kids See Ghosts.
You're psychotic. Just No Church in the Wild alone.
Oh, no, it's amazing. Yeah. Did you go to the Watch the Throne tour?
No, I went to what'd I do?
Jesus tour is crazy with the mountain.
With the mountain, yeah.
Oh my
so I
God.
did that. I saw Life of Pablo.
That's the only Kanye tour I didn't go to because he ended up canceling the date. I was going to fly to Denver to see him, but he had that meltdown and then canceled the rest of the tour. I was like looking forward to like standing under.
Man, it was, what's so dope about that Kanye show was he's part of the show, but then watching everyone else underneath them dancing and going crazy, that's like part of the show too. So it's an Inception performance because you don't know what to watch. Like the people watching him is part of it. So
yeah, shout out to Ye. This new video you sent me the link for. I watched it yesterday. First of all, great idea.
Thanks, man.
Recreating all the classic hip hop covers.
Yeah. You caught all of them?
I caught every single one. You see Public Enemy, Run DMC, Capital Punishment, DMX, 50, All Eyes on Me, Kanye. There's some others I'm missing.
NWA, Wayne.
Yeah, Carter was that
Mad
Carter 4?
Villainy.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to set that up in a way so like, you could do like you get like the time frame of when it pops up to guess what it is and see what people's scores are.
No, it was amazing. Yeah, I got it. I was 1,000% for sure. But incredible video. Your visuals in general are always very, very on point. Like, is that you? Is that your directors?
It's me, Delges Mustafa. He's part of my creative team. And then I just got a handful of people that we use. So shout out Dust Brand Films. He did that video. He's a hip hop head, so he was like the perfect dude to do it. But yeah, it's like I don't have just like one person I create all my videos with. It's kind of like, we pulling it together depending on who's
that
available.
video's crazy, man. And it was like flawlessly executed.
Thank you. All those were done in camera, so there was very little post effects. So every time it would pan into something, it'd be a physical set that was built.
Wow.
So, like even on Mad Villainy, like that's the real mask. And behind, there's that little square in the corner that's red. That was just like a red piece of square posted up in the back to make it look like the album. So
how hard was it to pull off the Eminem show shit? Like, did you have to find a red curtain somewhere?
Yeah, so we went to like a middle school and they let us use their auditorium. And then there was a red curtain, and we had to use their spotlight and just line everything up, and then put little gold leafing across the bottom of the curtain to make it look like that cover. So then it was like an hour of just like slide back an inch, go to the left, but we were trying to make them as exact as possible.
Your album just came out. The tours it's almost over, right?
Yeah, we got like 4 more dates. So we got the Fonda tonight. We got San Francisco, and then we got Denver. So that's it.
I feel like
short run.
Denver's everyone's best concert market for some reason. I don't know what it is about Denver.
Nuts.
Denver motherfuckers love to go to concerts in Denver.
I don't know what it is.
There's people who sell out the Red Rocks that won't do 1,000 tickets in LA.
That's right.
But they sell out the fucking Red Rocks.
Bro, I sell out Denver every time I play there. Just fanatics. They're incredible.
I always say Denver's like probably the best concert, like as far as like people going and spending money on live shows.
Yes.
Every artist I've ever talked to, they're like, yo, Denver, Denver, Denver.
I think Denver might be the highest selling show on this whole tour.
Wow.
Killing.
Yeah, Denver's a movie.
Shout out Denver. I can't breathe when I'm there, but
high altitude.
It's a fantastic
Are you a
time.
smoker?
Nah.
No smoking.
Nah, I get anxiety. I like panic attacks. It's bad.
Do you partake in any psychedelics or anything, or are you just pretty straight edge guy?
Nah, man, you know what it is? I just like my life.
That's fair.
I'm just being sober is so dope to me that I'm like,
it's like shit's going great for me.
Yo, just things are dope. I don't ever feel the need to be like, you know what? I really want to get incoherent right now. Like nothing, I go to therapy too. So
nice.
I'd be dealing with my demons, and I think some of that gives me that like, yo, I just want to drink water and go for a jog. That's what I'm saying. I'm no good for TV, bro. I'd be, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to work out and eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
what's your diet like? Are you?
We out here trying to live right, trying to live righteous. But from time to time, we do partake in the fried chicken. What are you gonna do? You got Roscoe's.
You're Italian, right? So like Italian food is amazing.
Yeah,
it's also probably the worst food for you because it's just lots of pasta.
I'm a foodie. Basically, the way that I calculate my day is like, all right, if I go work out, then I can have this nonsense at night. You know what I'm saying? So I just be trying to budget.
You're just kind of like, yo, if I can just have a wash every day.
That's it. Like if I can just break even,
we're good.
That's it. So, we just trying to eat wherever there's real good food. And I'm not picky. I'll try something. You know what I'm saying? Something new.
You ever had rattlesnake?
I haven't had rattlesnake, but I would try it. 100%. Have you?
Yeah.
In Arizona, that's like normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
not
like
it's
dinner.
not
It's
normal. It's not like you go to fucking every.
It's like Rattlesnake Tuesday. Y'all just have that?
But I've had it. It's not bad. Rattlesnake's not bad. Alligator's fire.
I just had some gator in Florida.
The gator nuggets
100%.
are
Gator
smacking.
bites. Go
Gator
hard.
bites are fire.
I had some kangaroo in Australia.
Wow.
Not dope.
Not good.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't
Very
do it
chewy.
either. Yeah.
I mean, I did it, but it's not
I
the
feel
one.
like kangaroos are too cute to eat.
What's the joint out here I got to hit in LA?
I don't even know, man. I'm not.
You just be in and out and all the time. That's it.
Nah. Dave's Hot Chicken is like basic bitch shit. Like there's a Dave's Hot Chicken up the street. Like, yo, go get a hot chicken sandwich. It's fucking amazing. 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 The main like place everyone goes to.
Nobu?
No, that's Porto's in Burbank is the highest rated restaurant on Yelp. At least it was for a long time. And then there's another place called the Morrison that is top 10 rated burger in the country.
Really?
The Morrison. Porto's is a bakery, pastries, desserts, and Cuban food. It's like 2 minutes from here. It's smacking.
100%. That like literally on my IG, every city I pop into, I'm like, yo, I'm in your city. What's the food recommendations? And that's it, man. We went to Japan right before the pandemic. Did a ramen tour. I mean,
Ramen's the best.
We out here wilding for food. So.
There it is, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you pulling up.
My brother, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Get some Dave's Hot after this.
Some Dave's Hot.